What's up, YouTube? Today I got a big hunk of meat and a big knife, and we're gonna explore cooking some brisket. So, start just by opening it up. My dad's birthday is Monday. It's currently Saturday. So I need to get this brisket cut up, trimmed. So we're gonna trim the fat from it. And then late tonight, I'm gonna make a video, well, I'm gonna continue this video, and show you how I smoke food. We'll see how it goes. So I'm not a brisket expert by any means. I've only done like 2 or 3 of them before. So I'm hoping that it goes well. So this is a full piece of brisket. I'm going to be cutting the big chunks of fat off of it, both this side and the other side. And then I'm going to probably cut it in half. And I haven't decided if I'm going to cook both of them or not both of them. So here's a big chunk of fat. We're going to start just by getting rid of it. It's true that fat yields flavor, but you don't really want that big old chunk of fat sitting there to cook and eat. There's plenty of fat in the brisket, and we're gonna leave just thin layers on these other spots. Sorry for the fact that my head's cut off, but the hood's a little short, so I'll try and be down here where you can see me, at least when I'm talking. The good thing is that there's lights up there, so it makes a pretty decent camera look. 2 pieces of meat. This one still needs some trimming, but this is the point. And this one is the flat. And you'll notice it's flat. So this is the side that people make burnt ends off of, where they cut it up into chunks. We're going to still trim off all the fat from these 2 sections that I was just working on, now that there's been more exposed. I don't know if you've noticed, but probably not, because I'm going to speed up most of the cutting, but this knife is not the sharpest. Couldn't find my knife sharpener this morning, but obviously that makes things a lot easier. Also a lot safer, so I will be finding that knife sharpener before I start working with this too much more. This is called an error. This should probably have been part of that. This piece up here that I put down the point. But, still meat. We'll still cook it. So, I'm pretty happy with that. So, still has some fat on it, as you can see on this side. So next thing we're going to do, well, I'm going to go wash my hands real quick. The next thing I'm going to do is season it up. Before I season it, just out of curiosity, so this was a 12-pound brisket before we started with this process of cutting all this meat off. I'm going to take a scale and find out how much pound of meat we have left by weighing the fat that we took off of it. So that's all fat. Four and a half pounds. So as you can see, you get a lot of waste when you do that, but you're not paying a butcher or somebody else to do all the cutting for you. So I don't know the difference in the pricing, but I suspect that if you're willing to do a little work, you save a little bit of money per pound on the meat when you do it this way. Now the other important thing is that this is only 8 pounds now. When I started it was 12, which means it's going to cook faster. I may end up just doing the flat in order to fit everything on the grill, because I actually have a pork shoulder inside the refrigerator that I'm going to cook with these as well. So I don't know if my grill's big enough for probably the 12 pounds of meat that would be there. So I'm not going to follow any sort of recipe on this. I'm just going to tell you what I'm doing as I do it. I've got 6 ingredients here, and the main one is salt and pepper. So very basic salt and pepper. Got a big jug of it. We're going to use quite a bit of that. On top of that, I've got paprika, nothing special. This is the Meyer brand. Cayenne pepper to add a little kick to it. Garlic powder and onion powder. So just really basic, nothing fancy, no sugars or anything else. So not going for a sweet brisket here. We will have barbecue sauce that you can dip it in after the fact, so you'll get your sweetness from the barbecue sauce. One more piece of fat here that I want to take care of. So we're going to start with the pepper. I'm going to be pretty liberal with this. Pretty sure that's a lot of Texas places have a real heavy pepper flavor. Salt, again, very liberal. Some paprika, give it just a little bit of flavor and a little bit of color. Cayenne, go easy on this because that's going to give it a lot of flavor. Garlic. And then this leaves onion. So what I'm going to do now is just work that into the meat. Making sure it gets flavored, and we're just going to flip and repeat for all of the rest. There's a good chance this piece doesn't make it to the end of the grilling. It's going to cook much faster, and it might be a midday snack for me. So, there we got a whole tray of meat. I'm going to throw this into the refrigerator. I'm going to leave it uncovered for a bit just to try and pull some of the moisture out of it. A little bit later today I'll throw some saran wrap over the top of it, and this is what's going to be going on the grill. Potentially 3 o'clock in the morning-ish, so I'm going to be getting up really early, starting the fire, getting everything going, and then I haven't decided what time I'm going to cook. It's going to depend if I throw that pork shoulder on with it or how we end up doing. So that will be decided once I get a final plan of action. You might be getting used to it by now, but I kind of just do things last minute as they come up. So the final plan will not be here until I light the grill and throw the meat on.